Yes, dear students, today after I think that 11 or 12 days due to CCA and your first unit test, again I am here with you with the remaining topics of electrochemistry, which are batteries and corrosion, part of this chapter. And today I am going to finish this chapter. This chapter was to be finished in 12 periods. So today is the 12th period of electrochemistry. So I am starting with you the topic of electrochemistry with batteries. And these two topics, batteries and corrosion, will cover your study materials in 10 pages. So see you. Batteries. Two types of commercial cells. First, primary batteries. In these cells, the reaction occurs only once, and after use they become dead and cannot reused again because the electrode reactions cannot be reversed by an external electric energy source. Example, such type of cells are dry cells, mercury cell, etc. Now the construction of dry cell. The cell consists of cylindrical zinc container that acts as anode, and the cathode is a carbon rod surrounded by powdered manganese dioxide and carbon. All the space of the container is filled by a moist paste of NH4Cl and little zinc Cl2, means ZnCl2, zinc chloride. When the cell is working, zinc loses electrons and Zn2 plus ions dissolves in the electrolyte. The lost electrons pass through the circuit and are taken up at cathode. This causes discharge of NH4 plus ions from the electrolyte. The reactions taking place at the electrodes are given below. So the reaction which takes place at anode, Zn zinc gives Zn2 plus ions and it loses 2 electrons, and at cathode NH4 plus ions plus MnO2 plus it takes electrons, reduction takes place here, and it comes in the form of this. Overall reactions is given here. Zn plus 2 NH4 plus aqueous 2 MnO2, which gives Zn2 plus 2 MnOH plus 2 NH3. So this is about the reaction, overall reaction. In the cathode reaction, manganese is reduced from plus 4 oxidation state to plus 3 oxidation state. NH3 produced in the reaction forms a complex with Zn2 plus to give this type of ion. The cell has a potential of nearly 1.5 volt. There are many varieties of dry cells such as silver cell or lithium cell. Note: the dry cell does not have an indefinite life because NH4Cl, being acidic, corrodes zinc container even when not in use. Mercury cell, a new type of cell which is used in small electrical circuits such as hearing aids, watches, and cameras, is the mercury cell. Construction: it consists of zinc. It consists of zinc and mercury amalgam as anode and a paste of HgO and carbon as the cathode. The electrolyte is a paste of KOH and ZNO. The electrode reactions for the cell are given below. This is the electrode reactions which takes place at anode and which takes place at cathode, and here is the overall reaction. Now, note in this cell the overall reaction does not involve any ion in solution whose concentration can change. Therefore, its potential remains constant throughout its life, which is approximately 1.5 volt. Now, the secondary batteries. This type of cell can be recharged after use by passing direct current through it and can be used again and again. So lead storage cell, and the example is lead storage cell. Such type of secondary batteries, example of secondary batteries is lead storage cell and nickel cadmium cell storage cell. Lead storage. Now about the lead storage cell. It is commonly used in automobiles and inverters. It consists of lead anode and cathode is a grid of lead packed with lead dioxide. The electrolyte is 38% solution of H2SO4. The cell reaction which takes place in this cell is given below. This is the cell reaction which takes place at anode and which takes place at cathode. The special thing of this type of the special thing with reaction of this lead storage cell is that this is the reaction which takes place at anode is here, and the reaction which takes place at cathode is here in this way, and the overall reaction is here. On charging the battery, the reaction is reversed and lead sulfate on anode and cathode is converted into lead and PbO2. See, so the that reaction will be just reverse of this overall reaction. When you will recharge, on charging the batteries, the reaction which takes place in this type of battery will be just reverse of this reaction. Now, nickel cadmium storage cell. It is another rechargeable cell. It has longer life than the lead storage cell but more expensive to manufacture. It consists of cadmium anode and cathode is a metal grid containing nickel 4 oxide. The electrolyte is KOH. The cell reaction is given below. So this is about cell reaction which takes place as in nickel cadmium storage cell. Now fuel cells. Galvanic cells that are designed to convert the energy of combustion of fuels like hydrogen, methane, methanol, etc. directly into electrical energy without the intervention of thermal device like boiler, turbine, etc. are called fuel cells. Construction. Fuel cells are designed in such a way that the materials to be oxidized and reduced at the electrodes are stored outside the cell and are constantly supplied to the electrodes. The cell consists of porous carbon electrodes which are impregnated with catalysts like platinum, silver, cobalt. Concentrated aqueous solution of KOH or NOH is used as electrolyte between two electrodes working. Hydrogen and oxygen are bubbled through a porous carbon electrode into electrolyte where the fuel cell uses the reaction of hydrogen and oxygen to form water. The electrode reactions are given below, which takes place at anode in fuel cell, and the reaction which takes place at cathode is given here under. You will see from the text material which I will send you in your WhatsApp. The cell runs continuously as long as the reactants are supplied. So it will continue till the supply of the reactants. Some important advantages of such fuel cells are given below. First, it is pollution free working. There are no objectionable byproducts and therefore they do not cause pollution problems. Second, high efficiency. The efficiency of fuel cells is 70%, which is much higher than the thermal plants whose efficiency is about 40%. The third advantage is that continuous source of energy. So there is no need to replace electrode material as ordinary battery uses. It is also known as S2O2 fuel cell or Bacon cell because it is invented by Bacon. Now the topic is corrosion. So I have finished the topic of batteries just now. Now the next topic and the last topic of this chapter is corrosion. It is a matter of common observation that certain metals, except those which are least reactive like platinum, gold, palladium, etc., are strongly eaten up on long exposure to atmosphere. For example, silver tarnishes, copper develops a green coating, iron rusts, and lead and aluminium loses their luster due to corrosion. Thus, corrosion causes enormous damage to buildings, bridges, ships, and many other articles made of iron. Hence, corrosion is defined as the process of slow conversion of metals into their undesirable compounds by reaction with moisture and other gases present in the atmosphere. Factors which affect corrosion: presence of impurities. The impurities help in setting up voltaic cells, which increases the speed of corrosion. Second is reactivity of the metals. More the reactivity of metals, the more will be the possibility of corrosion. The third point which favors corrosion is the presence of electrolytes. Presence of electrolytes in water also increases the rate of corrosion. For example, iron rusts more rapidly in saline water than pure water. Now the fourth is presence of gases in air, which also favors corrosion. Presence of CO2 and SO2 in natural water increases rusting because water containing CO2 acts as electrolyte and increases the flow of electrons from one place to another. The mechanism of rusting. This is the last topic. Mechanism of rusting of. Chemically, rust is a non-sticking brown colored hydrated iron 3 oxide, that is Fe2O3.X2. X represents here the amount of water which varies time to time. It depends upon the season. It is generally caused by moisture, CO2, O2 of air. It can be easily removed by scratching. Rusting of iron can be considered as an electrochemical phenomenon. According to this theory, the impure iron surface or non-uniform iron surface behaves like a small electrochemical cell in presence of water containing dissolved O2 or CO2. Moisture with dissolved CO2 constitutes electrolytic solution in the small electrolytic cell. Pure iron acts as anode. Oxidation occurs at anode producing Fe2 plus ions, which go into the solution and lost electrons by Fe atoms move towards cathodic area through the metal. The reaction which takes place at anode. Now, this is the reaction which takes place at anode. Iron changes into Fe2 plus ions, losing the electrons. At the cathodes of each cell, the electrons are taken up by H plus, which are obtained either from water or from acidic substances, that is when CO2 dissolves in water. It will produce H plus ion. Now, so this is about the reaction. So how does water produce H plus ion and the carbonic acid produces H plus ion. Now, the reaction which takes place at cathode, H plus takes electron and it changes into H atom, and the H hydrogen atom thus produced reduces the dissolved O2 as 4H plus O2, it gives 2H2O, and therefore the net reaction at cathode is written as like this, multiplying 1 by equation 1 by, this is the equation 1, here is the equation 1 in this page. This is the, so here just you see here, this is the equation 1 and this is the equation 2. So multiplying 1 by 4 and then adding 1 and 2, we have such type of reaction. Thus overall redox reaction can be written by multiplying oxidation half reaction by 2 and then adding it to reduction half reaction, we get such type of final reaction. So this is about the overall reaction. Now, the ferrous ions are further oxidized by atmospheric oxygen to ferric ions, which come out as rust in the form of hydrated ferric oxide. The formula of hydrated ferric oxide is Fe2O3.xH2. Again I am telling you the X represents amount of water of the present in the atmosphere, which varies time, which changes time to time. It depends upon season. As for example, in this season the amount of water in the atmosphere is very low, so this will be less amount. When the rust will be obtained, the amount of water in that will be less, and with further production of H plus ions as given below. Now the prevention of corrosion. Corrosion or rusting can be prevented if these electrochemical cells are not allowed to function on the metal surface, since these are responsible for the redox reactions leading to corrosion. This can be achieved in a number of ways. The first method or the first way to prevent corrosion is barrier protection. What is barrier protection? So see here, the purpose of barrier protection is to create barriers between the metal surface and the moisture or gases present in the atmosphere. The barrier protection can be achieved by any of the following methods: by keeping the surface of the metal smooth, by painting the surface of the metal, by coating the metal surface with a thin film of oil or grease, by coating iron with some non-corroding metals such as copper, nickel, chromium, aluminum, etc. Now, the second is sacrificial protection. In this method, iron is protected from rusting by covering it with a layer of a metal more active than iron. This prevents loss of electrons from iron. The active metal loses electrons in preference to iron and goes into ionic state. As a result, covering metal is consumed with time. Hence, iron does not get rusted till covering metal is present on the surface of iron. Example, galvanization of iron is the case of sacrificial protection. Now, electrical protection. This method is used for protecting iron articles which are in contact with water, such as underground water pipes or ships. The articles of iron is connected with more active metals like magnesium or zinc. So you must remember the difference between the electrical protection and sacrificial protection. So what is the difference in this? In this, a thin layer of non-corroding material is developed over the in the sacrificial, over the material which is to be rusted, and in this the iron which rusts, gets rusted, is connected with the more active metal. So the active metal has lower reduction potential. This means lower reduction potential means that will easily lose electrons, that will act as anode. The active metal has lower reduction potential than iron and will lose electrons in preference to iron. Therefore, magnesium will be oxidized in preference to iron, and hence it will protect iron from being rusted. So this is about the material, about your batteries. So the difference between primary and secondary battery is asked in board examination. So you will I think that you have to write it in your notebook. That is very important to write it in your notebook. So I am giving you suggestion, I am setting to write you, and remember that for your board examination. And I am sending you the material in 10 pages that I have taught today through the video classes. Okay, thank you.